first talk about the innate immunity. Okay, we know that this innate immunity, it is present by birth, right? Present in an organism since birth, hence called as inborn, hence called as inborn immunity. Okay, inborn immunity. Okay. Next, if I say here, we call it as non-specific type of immunity.
Krishna. Now, maybe
Ashrat, Vivek Kancharla. Where were you till now? Why so late?
Good afternoon, sir.
We need N Vivek. Is there anyone with name N Vivek also? We have N Vivek also here, or only one Vivek? Okay. So innate immunity, if you say it is a non-specific type of immunity. Why? Why we are calling it as a non-specific? Non-specific in the sense over here, the components of this immunity, they're not able to distinguish between a specific antigen. Okay, so they're unable to distinguish. They are unable to distinguish between different foreign organisms or pathogens. Means whether the invading pathogen is a bacteria, fungi, virus, or protozoan, it is unable to identify. Okay, and over here, it does not. It doesn't depend upon memory from previous contact. So in case of acquired immunity or adaptive immunity, based upon the previous contact, okay, there may be chances of memory, because of which exaggerated response could be shown. But in this case, there is no memory at all. No memory from the previous contact. Huh?
There's some disturbance is coming, sir, when you're talking.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What type of disturbance?
Like mic problems.
yes, sir. Bit.
Still it is there.
Yes.
Slightly, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 second. Let me change the device.
Sir, memory from
Tell me, do you have disturbance even now?
No, sir.
Now
No,
it's
sir.
clear.
No.
Friends, do you have any disturbance now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Your voice changed, sir.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
1 second. Everything is fine then.
Fine, sir. Continue.
Achha, now you are able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay then. So the innate immunity, if you see, Okay, it is a non-specific type of immunity. Okay, the reason we are calling it as a non-specific type of immunity is because over here the components cannot distinguish between the cells and non-self. For example, if it is a bacteria, same type of response. If it is a fungi, also it will be having same type of response over here. All right, that it shows similar response. Response for any kind of pathogen. Okay, it will show similar response for any kind of pathogen, right? Whether it is a bacteria, fungi, protozoan, or a virus. Okay, so over here, what is involved? It involves innate immunity, involves use of certain barriers. Okay, it involves use of certain barriers that form first and second line of defense. Okay, so in a case of immune response, there will be first line of defense as well as the second line of defense. Okay, and this defense is maintained with the help of barriers. Okay, so in that case, if you see the first line of defense, it includes components like, we can say, skin, mucous membrane, okay, then cilia, nasal hairs, okay, then saliva, okay, HCl in a stomach, okay, lysozyme in tears and saliva, okay, then vaginal secretions, okay, all this make up the first line of defense. Here you must remember, see, these components, the upper components, okay, they make up the physical barrier. Okay, and these components, they are physiological barrier. Okay, so the two types of barriers, physical barrier, physiological barrier, they come under the first line of defense. Okay, in a very similar fashion, you'll have the second line of defense for the human body. The second line of defense. See, in the second line of defense, there will be certain cells, okay, and there will be certain immunological responses, okay, phagocytes, okay, macrophages, okay, WBCs, okay, then NK cells, special types of WBCs. Okay, these come under one category. Then you have interferons, interleukins, okay, interferons as well as interleukins. Okay, then inflammatory response, fever, etc. Right? And see here, The cells come under cellular barrier. Okay. And interferons and interleukin, they come under cytokine barrier. Okay. Is it clear? So these are certain components that are involved in the first line as well as second line of defense. Okay. Sometimes when this first line and second line of defense fails, then the third line of defense will help. Okay. The third line of defense comes under the adaptive immunity. Okay. So here I can say that if
Excuse me, sir. So what is the full form of NK cells?
natural killer cells.
Okay, sir.
We'll be taking about them, all these 4 barriers, we'll be taking about them in detail. Do not worry. If the first and second line of defense fails, then third line of defense takes part. Okay, and this third line of defense is in adaptive. It will show adaptive immunity.
Sir, sir, in second line of defense, what is the second line?
Interferons and interleukins.
Okay, sir.
If you want this, I can just erase it and I'll rewrite it. Interleukins. Okay. So now one by one, let us talk about the various barriers. First, the foremost barrier is the physical barrier. The name itself is suggesting, see, this barrier, it will physically stop, okay, stop the entry of the pathogen into the body. Right? It will try to prevent the entry. Right? These barriers, it prevents the entry of pathogen or foreign particles into the body. Okay, they'll try to prevent the entry of pathogen. Are they killing it? No. Okay, they do not kill, just they prevent the entry. They do not kill the pathogen. Okay, only prevent entry and expel out. So there are certain openings in our body, right? Like mouth, nose, okay, urinogenital tract, anus, okay. So in that area, in the gastrointestinal tract, in the respiratory tract and urinogenital tract, from that entry point also some pathogens can enter. In that case, how we will prevent the entry into the tissues? It will be expelled out. Okay, the pathogens will be trapped and it will be expelled out. Okay, how it will be done, we'll see. When we take the examples, we'll see that. Okay, so in the physical barrier, the examples, if you take examples of the physical barriers, okay, the foremost example over here you can take is skin. Remember, in skin we have epidermis.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This is
sir.
one of the main barrier that prevents entry of pathogen in body. In the body, entry will be prevented because of the skin. Okay, how? See, the outer layer of skin, if you see, is formed of epidermis. Okay, And epidermis is an epithelium. What type of epithelium? Stratified.
Stratified keratinized.
Stratified keratinized squamous epithelium.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it not having many layers? In stratified keratinized squamous epithelium, do you remember we discussed about 5 different types of layers?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is the uppermost layer?
Sternum corneum.
In this, the uppermost layer,
Stratum corneum.
layer is stratum corneum. Stratum corneum, right? And this stratum corneum, it will not allow the entry of the pathogen. Okay, so it prevents entry. Okay, got the point with respect to skin, right? Now, apart from skin, you have mucous membrane, mucus secreted from the mucous membrane. Mucus secreted from the mucous membrane. Okay, so remember that respiratory tract, okay, gastrointestinal tract, which is commonly called as GIT, okay, and urinogenital tract are lined by mucous membrane. Okay, and this mucous membrane secretes mucus. Okay, and what will happen? The pathogens that enter into these tracts, pathogen entering the body via these tracts are trapped in mucus and are expelled out of body. So, for example, when you are breathing in air, that air may have various pathogens or not? Yes. Definitely many pathogens will be present, right? So that pathogens, when they're entering, okay, when they're entering along with the inhaled air, they get trapped. Okay, those pathogens will get trapped. Okay, once they get trapped in the mucus, okay, they'll be expelled out. For example, by sneeze or cough, when you're sneezing or coughing, it is a forceful breathing out of air, right? Okay, so whatever mucus has trapped, they'll throw it out. Okay, is it clear? Any doubts in the physical barrier part? Any doubts, friends, in the physical barrier? No one is replying. Why?
No, sir.
No doubt, sir.
No doubts? Okay. Next, second type of barrier, if you see, second type of barrier is physiological. Physiological barrier. Okay. So say, students, in case of physiological barrier, it includes secretions of the body and tissues that will trap and kill the pathogen. It includes secretions of body or tissues, okay, that trap and kill the pathogen that enters the body. So physical barrier is trying to stop it from entering. If at all it enters, okay, then there are certain physiological barrier that will take action. Okay, so over here, it disrupts. How do that? It disrupts the pathogen structure and cause lysis. Okay, it prevents the growth of the pathogen. Okay, growth of pathogen also will be prevented. Right here, if you take the examples, okay, here if we take the examples, we can see that the various body temperature, okay, then enzymes like lysozyme, okay, then pH, generally acidic pH, all these factors, okay, all these factors cause what? They cause the prevention of entry of the prevention of multiplication of the pathogen, okay, as well as killing them. Okay, so one by one, let us see what are these. First, we'll talk about the HCl.
Sir, sir, in the third line, the last word, what it is, sir?
In the third line, last word, lysis, L-Y-S.
Okay.
That it prevents the what?
It prevents the growth of pathogen.
Okay.
So over here, acidic pH, okay, it is due to HCl produced in stomach. Okay, so what will happen? Pathogens that enter stomach along with food are killed due to acidic pH. Okay, this acidic pH will kill the pathogens. Okay, next, lysozyme, if you see, lysozyme, remember this lysozyme, it is a bactericidal enzyme. Okay, why we are calling it as a bactericidal? Because it kills bacteria. How? It breaks the cell wall, okay, and causes death of bacteria. Okay, and lysozyme is present in saliva. It is found in saliva. Okay, tears. Okay, found in saliva and tears. Okay, got the point about the lysozyme?
Yes.
And if you see in vagina of female, lactobacillus maintains acidic pH to prevent the growth of other microbes. So other microbes cannot grow in the vagina. Why? Because in vagina, there is present of lactobacillus and it will maintain acidic pH. Okay, acidic pH will be maintained, right? Infection in vagina will be prevented because of this. Okay, is it clear? Next, last thing related to physiological barriers, secretions of skin like sweat and sebum.
Sir,
Uh,
sir, lactobacillus is also present in the vagina, sir.
that's what I said. In the vagina, lactobacillus will maintain the pH.
So it is also present in the mammary glands.
It is also present in,
Mammary glands.
why in mammary glands?
Sir, milk, no, sir.
So if milk is present, lactobacillus will be present in milk. Why lactobacillus will be present in the milk? If lactobacillus is present in the milk, it will become curd.
Right.
To make curd, you need to add lactobacillus in the milk. It is not naturally present.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then secretions of skin like sweat and sebum also prevents microbial growth.
Sir, milk will have lactose, right?
Lactose, sugar will be there. Okay, see, what does this lactobacillus do? It will cause fermentation, right? How? It will use the lactose sugar and convert it into lactic acid. Okay, because of anaerobic respiration, it will convert it into lactic acid. That is how the milk will get converted into curd. I hope about the physiological barrier, it is clear now to everyone. The various different types of physiological barriers. Huh?
Yes.
See, when the primary, or we can say the first line of defense fails, okay, so when the first line of defense fails, or if, this is a separate point apart from the first, if the first line of defense containing physical and physiological barrier fails, then what will happen? Then the second line of defense helps in protection. Okay, and the second line of defense includes the other two barriers. The third barrier is cellular barrier. Okay, the third type of barrier, which is the cellular barrier. Okay, so it includes certain cells of our body the body that are directly involved in non-specific defense mechanism. Okay, so these cells are involved in what? These are involved in the non-specific type of defense. What cells are involved? Cells like, it includes certain WBCs. Okay, certain WBCs, generally monocytes. Okay, neutrophils. Okay, neutrophils will be also involved. Neutrophils, you can also call them as what? Polymorphonuclear leukocytes, isn't it? Monocytes, monomorpho or mononuclear MNL. Okay, mononuclear lymphocytes. Okay, and not only WBCs, certain types of special large lymphocytes that form the natural killer cells or NK cells. These are large lymphocytes, a type of WBC only. Okay, next one more is there, that are macrophages. Okay, macrophages, right? So see over here, the macrophages. First, if we talk about the macrophages, what do macrophages do? Anyone? Can anyone tell what will macrophages do?
Phagocytosis.
Phagocytosis. Very good.
Phagocytosis. So it secretes.
Huh? Show phagocytosis. Okay, so they will engulf the cell. Engulf
Internal scavenge.
foreign particles and dead and decaying substance. Okay, it will engulf them. Right? Macrophages could be of different types, right? They can be fixed macrophages
And wandering.
Histocytes.
wandering type. In tissues chapter, we have discussed this, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you see macrophages or macrophages fixed in tissues. Macrophages fixed in tissues are of who? Histiocytes, na? They are the histiocytes. Histiocytes, fixed macrophages of tissue. And see, students, there we discussed about various other macrophages also, right? Macrophage of liver, Kupffer cells. Okay, they are the Kupffer cells. Okay, then macrophage of bone. What are the bone eating cells?
Osteoclast.
Osteoclast. Okay, then you have macrophages of cartilage.
Chondrocyte.
Chondroblast. Okay, then macrophages in brain. Phagocytosis in brain.
Astrocytes.
Microglial cells. Okay, microglial cells. And macrophages of blood. In blood, who shows phagocytosis? Tell me.
Sir, liver and monocytes, neutrophils.
Monocytes and neutrophils. Okay, neutrophils are polymorphonuclear leukocytes. Okay, and if you see monocytes, bean-shaped nucleus. Tell me the percentage of neutrophils.
60 to 65%. 60 to 65%. 6 to 7.
What about monocytes?
6 to 3%.
So,
6 to 7%, sir.
6 to 7%. In some areas it will be given 2 to 10 or 2 to 8. 6 to 8 also comes under this only, right?
Yes, sir.
Do not get confused at all. Right? Yes. See, this is the third abundant leukocyte. Okay. Maximum neutrophils, minimum basophils, second maximum lymphocytes, third maximum is monocytes. I gave you one shortcut also, right? To remember this.
Never let monkey eat banana.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So what happens
Sir,
is,
what is it, sir?
what happened?
Sir, what is that shortcut to remember?
Sri Ram. Sri Ram, are you new to the batch?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, even I am new to the batch, sir.
Who?
Sir, my name is Kalyan Ram.
Kalyan. Okay. So you are also new. Okay. Okay. Nikhil is also new. Means you don't know the shortcut to remember the abundancy of WBCs.
No, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Harshit Laksheti, are you there? Harshit Laksheti is not there. Okay. Then Satvik.
Yes, sir.
Tell the shortcut.
Sir, never let monkey eat banana.
So N for never, N for neutrophils, highest. L for lymphocytes. M for monkey, M for monocytes. E for eat, E for eosinophils. B for banana, B for basophils. Okay, so in this sequence you can remember always. So these people, if you remember like this, you will remember it always. No need to always by heart it. Okay, before examination you will not see. Highest and lowest you will know.
Okay, sir.
And see,
Okay, sir.
these WBCs reach the site of infection and come out of blood vessels by a process called as what? Diapedesis. Diapedesis is shown, okay, because of which they reach out into the tissues, to the cells of the tissue at the site of infection, right? And about the natural killer cells, if you say, these natural killer cells, these are a type of lymphocytes. Okay, they are large granular lymphocytes. Okay, large granular lymphocytes. Generally, lymphocytes are agranulocytes, right? But here these are large granular lymphocytes. Okay, and these natural killer cells, okay, they show their action by production of, they produce a protein called perforin. Perforin protein. Okay, and this perforin protein, you know, it makes or it bores hole. It bores holes in the plasma membrane. It bores holes in the plasma membrane of pathogen. Okay, so see, in the bacteria or virus or a tumor cell, pathogen, or we can say tumor cells. In tumor cells also it can do this. Okay, so if a hole is created in the plasma membrane, water can enter through that hole or not?
Yes, sir.
Water enters through these pores and causes lysis, means breakdown. Say, imagine a bacteria, okay, and if the holes are created in the plasma membrane of that particular pathogen, water will enter in that pathogen, the pathogen will become enlarged, right? It will bulge, it will swell, and it will break and die. Okay, is it clear? This is how the natural killer cells work, right? And when they are dead, when the pathogens are dead, the dead matter will be removed with the help of phagocytes. Got the point? How these cells are helping here? See, the cells are directly involved, whether it is a bacteria, whether it is a virus or a fungi or any other thing. Same type of response will be shown by the natural killer cells. So this is non-specific type only, right? Okay. Fourth and the last type of barrier in innate immunity is cytokine. Okay, cytokine barrier. Okay, so generally these are proteins or glycoproteins secreted from the affected cells, prevents the infection. Okay, so in this case, with examples you can understand. Okay, here we have two examples for cytokine barrier, that is interferon and interleukin. Interferons and interleukins. Okay, so see, interferons, when we take the case of interferons, and on this side we'll be taking the interleukins. So generally the interferons, if you see, these are produced by proteins. These are a type of glycoproteins produced by virus infected cells. Produced by the virus infected cells. It acts upon neighboring cells. Okay, and prevents the viral infection. It prevents the viral infection in neighboring cells. Okay, so we can say it inhibits viral multiplication. Okay, see students, you would have heard virus when it infects your body. Okay, it will hijack the cell mechanism, right? Okay, if you imagine that virus is entering your body, if it enters in your body, it will go and attack one cell. It will inject its genetic material in that cell. Okay, so that your own body cell will start producing new virus. Okay, so virus will multiply in your own body cell, right? Okay, is it good thing to happen?
No, sir.
So when one cell is affected, that affected cell, it will produce certain glycoproteins that are nothing but these interferons. These interferons, they go and act upon the neighboring cell. Okay, so that the neighboring cell will not come into contact with the virus. Okay, it will produce certain proteins, okay, which will inhibit the cell cycle. Okay, it will inhibit the cell cycle, okay, because of which the virus cannot multiply in the cells. This is how the interferons work. Okay, and interferons are of different types. Okay, you have alpha interferons, beta interferons, gamma interferons. Different types of interferons are there. Okay. Next, interleukins, if you see, in case of interleukins, okay, these are a group of proteins. Okay, they act as signaling molecules. They act as signaling molecules. Means generally, if you see affected T cells, example, affected T cells, generally T helper cells, produce interleukin 2. IL, we write this as an IL, produce interleukin 2. This interleukin 2, it acts as messenger for B cells. Okay, and this B cells produce plasma cells. And what will plasma cells produce? Tell me. Plasma cells, they produce
Antibodies.
antibodies.
Antibodies, sir.
So we can say that these interleukins help in differentiation of cells, right?
So T cells means T lymphocytes.
Yeah, differentiation of immune cells. When say there were B cells, now B cells gets differentiated into plasma cells and memory cells, and that plasma cells will produce antibodies. This is how the cytokine barriers will help. Clear about the 4 different barriers? Any doubts related to the barriers?
No, sir.
No? Okay. And apart from these barriers, there are certain types of responses. Okay, certain types of responses of the body. Body response. Okay. For pathogens. Okay, so in this one response, if you see, one is inflammatory response. Inflammatory response. Already in tissues we discussed, right, this? Okay, so this inflammatory response, it is due to histamine caused due to histamine, okay, as well as if you say prostaglandins, okay, and this histamine is secreted from where? Tell me. Mast cells, right? In the tissues they produce histamine. Okay, and this inflammatory response, it occurs.
So what's after histamine, sir?
Huh?
So what's that after the histamine?
What is?
What is after
What
histamine,
after
sir?
histamine, sir?
Prostaglandins.
Prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are also local messengers actually. Secretions of the cell, which will help in inflammatory response. Okay, it is an eicosanoid. It will also act as a hormone also. So it occurs at the site of infection. At the site of infection, there will be presence of inflammatory response. Okay, so wherever there is an inflammatory response, some factors will be seen, right? Over here, conditions like redness. Redness will be seen or not? Wherever there is an infection. Okay, and some heat. Heat also will be seen. Okay, and do you not see swelling?
Yes, sir.
Swelling will be seen. Okay, and there will be also pain. Okay, pain also will be there. Okay, so for redness, Ruber word is used. Ruber. Okay, for heat, calorogenic, right? Calor word is used. And for swelling, if there is a swelling, it looks like a tumor, right? Okay. Tumor means swelled part. Okay. And pain is dolor. Okay. So these conditions, redness, heat, swelling, and pain will be seen in the area. Okay. And why there is redness and swelling and all? See, inflammatory response is shown. Na?
Yes, sir.
During inflammatory response,
For pain, what, sir?
Sir, what is for pain?
For pain, dolor, DOLOR. So over here, during inflammatory response, there will be increased blood flow. Why there is increased blood flow? Do you remember we said that there will be vasodilation?
Yes.
Histamine will do what? It will cause vasodilation, right?
Yes, sir.
Vasodilation, because of which more blood flow will be there. Okay, and increase plasma flow. Okay, more amount of plasma will come out of the blood vessel and enter into the tissues. Why it has to enter? Because see, in plasma only you have the antibodies, right? Antibodies, that is the nothing but immunoglobulin. It is present in the plasma only, na? So it will be provided to the tissue. Okay, so because of this, there will be swelling also. Okay, so this all things will occur, and when the phagocytes enter in that area, they will also cause phagocytosis. Next, another response, fever. Whenever a pathogen enters your body, you have fever or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Increase body temperature. Why is fever caused? Tell me. See, this fever, it is caused due to release of chemicals called pyrogens. See, pyro is related to heat or fire. Okay, so this pyrogens, it is released from the damaged cells. Okay, so released from affected cells. Affected cells release pyrogens. Okay, and what is the advantage? What is the advantage? Tell me. If body temperature increases,
Can burn those.
You can know that.
Sir, efficient defense mechanism.
it prevents the growth of
Infection.
pathogen. Okay, and boost up immune response. Okay, so what happens? See, if your body temperature increases, the pathogen will not be able to grow properly. Okay, and your immune system also will start working effectively. That is the reason they say, if you get fever, it is good. Okay, if you are getting fever means your immune system is showing some activity. Okay, then only a person gets fever. Right? Then another system, the third response is shown by complement system. About the complement system, we will discuss it in our tomorrow's class. It is an interlink between acquired immunity as well as innate immunity. Okay, so how this complement system works, basic idea, not in detail, because details you learn in your higher studies. It's not required over here because there are 30 proteins that will be involved over there. Okay, 30 proteins are involved, so we need not discuss them over here. Only what is the importance of it we'll discuss. That's all. Okay, so see you all tomorrow. Have a good day. Take care.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
sir, for the weekend test, we have the whole immunity, sir.
Weekend test?
So for the weekend test, we have whole immunity or till any particular topic.
No.
Till immunization.
So up to vaccination.
Yesterday till where we discussed till there only.
So like completed already the syllabus.
We completed the syllabus yesterday itself. Yesterday in the half time only we completed that syllabus already.
So till adaptive immunity you taught.
1 second, I will tell you. In the previous file, right? Not till adaptive immunity. Till here.
Vaccination. Yes.
Antibiotics and all we discussed, right? Till there. Vaccination, immunization and all.
Okay, sir.
Okay, till there. Prevention and control measures were there, right?
Yes, sir.
That part.
Vaccination and immunization.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Even
sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.